Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Caley Alyssa, and this is your 40-minute evening unwind. I'm going to be walking you through a series of postures to help you unwind from your day, release stress and tension from your body, and ease into a restful night of sleep. You will need a few props for this one. 2 blocks, a blanket, and a strap. So go ahead and grab those and come on back because we're going to get started very soon. Remember, if you like class, click the subscribe button below. All right, you guys, let's jump in. Let's begin in a comfortable seated position. You want to grab one of your blocks and have it at the center of your mat. You might need to elevate the block depending on how tight of a body you live in. You'll know exactly what you need as we get there. Go ahead and inhale, reach the arms up, take a big breath. And on your exhale, fold forward, bringing your forehead down to the block. And as you release your forehead to the block, try to allow the arms to soften as well. Right away, tap into your breath. So try to deepen the inhale and lengthen the exhale. Do a few rounds of breath here on your own. And notice as you're breathing and as the center of your head rests on the block, this allows the face to release tension. The pressure on the third eye, or in yogic philosophy we call this the seat of the soul. That pressure allows the forehead to soften, the orbits of the eyes to relax. Even the jaw and the lips can release their grip. A couple more rounds of breath here. Good, and we'll slowly come on back up. Leaning back, uncross the legs and recross. Bring the opposite leg in front. And we'll do this again. Inhale, reaching your arms up. And exhale, folding. All the way forward, forehead resting on the block. And again, really make sure the shoulders are soft, the neck is relaxed. Drop right into your breath here. The breath anchors us into the present moment. And so instead of just reflecting on the day and thinking about what's coming tomorrow, try to stay present to the here and the now. Allow your body, your mind this time to unwind and de-stress and be present. Couple more breaths here. Good, and we'll slowly start to come up. I'm just setting this block over to the side for now. Grabbing hold of your strap. And we'll shift, coming onto our knees in a kneeling position. And then open up your strap, grabbing hold with both hands. And so you want to hold the strap pretty wide. You'll see if you need to go any wider as we start to get into the movement here. And so on your inhale, you begin to lift both arms up. And as you exhale, keeping the elbows straight, you begin to bring the arms back behind you. And so right away, you'll figure out if you need to widen your grip or not. So we inhale, lift. And we exhale, lower. So try not to rush this. You'll have some points in the shoulders that might be a little sticky, a little crunchy. I want you to move slower in those areas rather than trying to speed past them. You're really conscious with the movement, really conscious with your breath. We'll do 2 more just like that. Inhaling to rise. Exhaling to lower. Okay, and last time. Inhaling to rise. And exhaling to lower. Good. Let's go ahead and set the strap to the side for now. We'll come back to it in a little bit. Find a tabletop position on your hands and your knees and take the knees a little bit wider than you would typically do for tabletop. And then on your inhale, fill the belly with breath. Pull your heart, your chest forward. And as you exhale, press your way back into child's pose, hips to heels. I'm going to do this a few times. Allow the breath to guide you as you pull forward. Big inhale. Exhale, contract the belly, pressing back, child's pose. So do a few of these on your own. Just allow the breath to guide your movement. And on this last one, just be back in child's pose for a moment or two. Releasing the forehead to the mat. You can even maybe rock your head side to side. Release any last little bits of tension that might still be lingering in your face, your temples, your forehead. And then we'll shift back into our tabletop position here. From tabletop, inhale to reach your right arm all the way up. Shift your gaze up. And as you exhale, swing that right arm underneath you. So you're resting on the right shoulder. Your head comes down to the mat, and that left arm might just walk its way overhead. You can push into the fingertips and feel a little bit of a twist happening in your torso. Breathe here. Okay. And we'll slowly release, just pushing down into the left hand. Inhale, sweep that right arm all the way back up. Look up. And exhale, release. Let's change sides. Big breath, reach the left arm up. And as you exhale, slide that left arm underneath you so that you can rest on the shoulder. Maybe the right arm reaches overhead. You can push into the fingertips and just twist the torso a little further here. And take a couple breaths in this position. All right, and then slowly release. We'll come back up to that tabletop. And from here, keeping the hips stacked directly over the shoulders, we'll grab hold of a block and place it at the center of the mat. Coming into Anahatasana. So we walk the hands forward and allow the forehead to rest on the block. Now, if you want a deeper release in the shoulders, you can remove the block and you can bring your forehead down onto the mat. If you still want a deeper release, you can bring your chin and your chest down onto the mat, keeping the arms active by pushing into the palms of the hands. We carry a lot of tension in the neck and the shoulders, so this is a really great posture to do at the end of your day. One more big breath here. And slowly push into the palms of the hands to lift your torso up. Walk your hands in and tuck your toes behind you, coming into a downward facing dog. And take a few moments in down dog to pedal out your feet, stretch into the backs of the calves, the hamstrings, the lower back. And then really slowly start to walk your hands back to your feet. So we're coming to the end of your yoga mat. Once you get here, interlace your fingers, bring the hands behind the head, right where the skull and the neck meet, and then pull the elbows towards one another, creating a little bit of traction here along your spine. And so as we move throughout our day, our spine tends to compress. We get a little shorter. And so what this does is it creates space between your vertebrae. It helps to get a little bit of length back. So take a few breaths here. Gentle bend in the knees. Feel that spaciousness in the spine. Right, and then go ahead and release your hands down. And as you inhale, lengthen your spine and just walk your way back into your down dog on your exhale. From down dog, stepping gently the right foot all the way up to the top of your mat. You can release the left knee down. Be on your fingertips here, or you can grab your blocks. So allowing the hips to descend and the heart to lift. So we're opening into the hip flexor and the quad. This tends to get a little congested as well, as we are constantly either sitting in a chair or at a desk, in a car. So opening this space up should feel pretty good as well at the end of the day. And we're going to take this into a half split. So if you've got the blocks, take them with you. You can elevate them if you need to. The back knee will be at a 90-degree angle, and the front leg is straight here. So taking all of the flexion out of the spine, getting as long as you can in extension. And then as you exhale, you can fold over the front leg. So maybe you take the blocks down to a lower level. You could rest your forearms on the block. Whatever feels good in your body. Breathe here. And we're going to add on a little bit. So taking the blocks with you as you lift up, bring them outside of your right leg and just kind of walk them over as far over to that right side as you can. You might feel your IT band here. Just notice what sensations arise for you. Okay, and then we'll release that. Rebending into the front knee, placing the blocks forward. We'll step back into plank position, dropping the knees down to the mat, the chest and the chin down. Roll all the way forward onto your bellies, tenting onto your fingertips, coming into a low cobra. So just lifting a few inches up. And exhale, releasing down. Press your way back through child's pose. And then tucking your toes and coming back into your downward facing dog. And then gently step the left foot to the top of your mat, releasing the right knee down. Again, you can grab your blocks. You can also just be on your fingertips here. Whatever feels best for you, whatever feels good in your body. We allow the hips to descend. And as the hips descend, the heart lifts. So again, we're getting now into the hip flexor on the right side. A little bit of the quad on the right side as well. All right, and then we'll take this into our half split. So the weight moves into the back knee. We'll bring the blocks with us if you've got them. And extend the front leg to straight. And from here, take all of the flexion out of the spine. So get as long and as spacious as you can in your back body. And then as you exhale, you fold forward over that front leg. And then you can adjust. You can drop the blocks down to whatever level. You can get rid of them altogether. Again, honoring whatever is present in your body, not forcing anything. We want to release tension, not create it, right? So find that, whatever that means for you. Right, and then let's come out of this, taking the blocks with us. Last little piece here. I'm gonna walk the blocks outside of the left leg. Okay, all the way over as far as you can until you feel some sort of sensation, maybe in the IT band, the outer hip, maybe in the hamstrings. Just breathe here. All right, let's bring those blocks with us. We'll walk all the way back up, rebend into the left knee. Just set the blocks up at the top of your mat. We'll step back into plank position, take an in-breath. And again, exhale, we drop the knees, the chest, and the chin. Coming onto the belly, tenting up onto the fingertips, and maybe lifting a little bit higher into your cobra this time. Big breath. And exhale, release. Pushing your way back into child's pose once more. Hips to heels and rest. All right, slowly come on up to a seat. Shift your hips over to one side. We're coming into Janu Shirshasana here. So bringing your right foot to the inner left thigh. Now you can take a block with you if, again, you live in a tighter body and you know you need that. This might be really good and supportive for you. So in Janu, take your arms up overhead, big in-breath. And as you exhale, you fold over the left leg. And again, you can rest your forehead on the block. So you're allowing the neck to relax as you do this. It doesn't have to use any sort of effort. It can just be. It can just exist here. Really tapping into the breath again. Try to deepen it, lengthen it. Okay, and slowly start to rise up, lifting your head off of the block. Taking the right hand behind you, we'll sweep the left arm up as you lift your hips up. So exalt the pose. Big stretch. Open everything up here. And then come on back down. All right, let's switch sides. Extending the right leg, taking the left foot to that inner right thigh. And then we inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, folding over the straight right leg. Allowing the forehead again to rest on the block. Breathe here. Again, as you focus on the breath in the present, you won't be able to dip into the past or the future. So stay here. Give yourself this time, this practice, just to be present. Last big breath here. Okay, and we'll slowly come up. And again, we're going to exalt this. So we bring the left hand behind us, sweep the right arm up, lift the hips up. Big, huge opening stretch. And release. Bring the hips down to the ground. Set the blocks over to the side of your mat for now. We'll be coming back to those guys in a little bit. And grab your strap, coming all the way down onto your back. And as you come down onto your back, we're actually going to lie down on the blanket as well. So have the soft edge of your blanket facing kind of the top edge of the mat. And then rest your upper body on the blanket. And then the head and the neck come off. The head and the neck are resting on the mat. So just be here for now. This will all make sense in a little bit. All right, so extending the left leg down and then wrapping up the right foot with the strap. Extend into the right leg and then just give the strap a little tug. So we just opened up the back of the legs in Janu. Now we're going to add a little bit of a hip. So taking the strap into the right hand, the left hand can anchor into the hip and just allow your leg to open all the way over to the right. Taking a couple of breaths here. Good, and then we'll bring the leg back through center, switch the strap into the left hand, and allow the leg now to cross your body all the way over to the left. Breathe here. Stay rooted in the breath. We'll slowly come back to center, bend into the knee, release the strap. All right, and just find sort of a little reset in Shavasana, both legs out for a moment. You can turn the toes in and the heels out, and vice versa. Then we'll come into the second side. So bending into the left knee, go ahead and wrap the left leg up with the strap, straighten into the leg. And then again, we'll start to open that leg over to the left. So we're getting into the hip now. Your right arm can come out to your side. Take a few breaths here. You can also use that right hand to anchor your right hip down. Good, and then we'll switch it. So slowly drawing the leg back into center. We'll take the strap into the right hand. And we allow the leg now to cross all the way over the body to the right. Breathing here. Good, and then we'll come back to center. Take your time. Bend into the knee. Release the strap from the foot. And again, just kind of neutral shavasana reset. Toes and heels in and out. You can set the strap to the side. So from here, we'll be coming into plow pose. And this is why we set ourselves up on the blanket already. Moving from plow into a shoulder stand. Now, if you don't like shoulder stand, if it just doesn't feel good in your body, you can elevate your hips on a block like you're doing legs up the wall. You could also just rest your legs on the wall, okay? So it's still an inversion, still getting the hips and the legs over the head. Otherwise, I really love plow because it stimulates the endocrine system, the glandular system, and it helps the secretion of melatonin, which helps us to prepare and helps the body to be ready for sleep. So with plow, bring the arms down by your sides. Hug the knees into your chest and slowly allow the legs to lift up and overhead. You'll bend into the elbows and bring the hands to the low back for support. Okay, and you can hang here for a couple of breaths. And when you're ready, you can bring one leg and then the other leg all the way up into your shoulder stand. And you can close your eyes. Tap into the breath here. Now the hands strategically are resting where the adrenal glands live, on the back of the kidneys. Those are also part of your glandular system. And those glands produce stress hormones. And so we can give them a little bit of a love massage, a little bit of pressure, so that they can soften. Got about a minute left. Stay present to the breath. Good, and then we'll slowly start to come out of this. So coming right back into plow where we started. Lifting the legs up and overhead. Big stretch here. And from plow, you gently release, bringing the hips back down onto the mat. Okay, bend into the knees. Allow the feet to rest on the ground. And you can knock the knees together here to create a little bit of spaciousness in your low back and the back of the pelvis. Big inhale through the nose. Part the lips. Exhale. Release. All right. I really love coming into the next posture after plow. So this is a supported bridge. We're going to reach down and grab hold of one of the blocks. Push down into your feet to elevate the hips and then bring the block underneath the hips, underneath the back of the pelvis. The block can be on any height that you like here. I love doing this position after doing a shoulder stand. It just feels really good in the body. And so allow your body to relax here. Release tension. The heavy bones of the pelvis completely supported. side. And then when you're ready, you can slowly push down into your feet just to lift the hips off the block. And again, we'll knock the knees together here and allow the feet to come out wide. And then keeping the knees knocked, lift your feet up off of the ground. From here, we'll cross the right knee all the way over the left knee, reaching down, grabbing hold of the shins, or maybe grabbing hold of the outer edges of the feet. And as you do that, just make sure your ankles stay flexed so that they're supported and you're not contorting the foot in any weird way. And then you can start to work on drawing the feet up towards the shoulders. This is also really amazing posture. It opens the low back, the back of the pelvis, the outer hips. We tend to store a lot of tension in our hips as well as the glutes. So this is really a wonderful posture to do at the end of your day. Again, return to your breath as you're here in this position. Notice the waves of releasing happening within. And let's slowly release, unwinding and rewinding. So we'll now take the left knee over the right knee, reaching down, grabbing hold again once more of the shins, or maybe grabbing the outer edges of the feet. And just, if we're grabbing the feet again, try not to contort the ankles in any way. And then bring your head back down onto the mat if you had lifted it. And just honoring the difference between your two sides. And you want to work the feet up towards the shoulders. Noticing where you feel the stretch on this side. All right, really gently, slowly release. Unwinding the legs. We'll come into a happy baby pose here, neutral posture. Again, grabbing the outer edges of the feet, bending into the knees. And this time you can gently rock side to side. So we're massaging now into the kidney band, into the lower back. And if it feels good, you might just extend the legs out for one final stretch here. And then bend the knees, curl into a tight little ball. So release all the tension. We're going to call it back now, squeezing every last little muscle in your body. Scrunch your face, curl your toes, everything tight. As tight as you can possibly get. And then release. We let it all go, melting into our final resting pose, Shavasana. Let's take a big, huge inhale here through the nose. And then part your lips. Exhale to release.